Hey y'all, and welcome. I'm Christine. I appreciate you tuning in to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you've been here before, I appreciate you so much for dropping back by. I hope you enjoy these. These are going to be kitchen item makeovers from flea and thrift uh, stores. Anyhow, let's get started. So this first one, I found this gorgeous flour sifter. Now this one wasn't plain, it had some writing on it, so I am going to just paint it 2 coats with white chalk paint, and then I'm going to distress it with my little sanding hand sander, and then I'm going to just bring out that wording, because with the chalk paint it kind of covered it, so I want to bring that out. So I'm definitely going to do the raised words on it. I did get a little bit of chalk paint on that little black handle knob there. I thought about going back over it with some black chalk paint, but I really wasn't worried about it. I just wiped off as much as I could with my little Lysol wipe, and I was good with that. So when I got through, my intention was, I haven't used the IOD stamps or any stamps before, so this is my first time using these. I was going to try a stamp on here. I couldn't make it work. The stamp was a little too big. It's got some ridges in it, and it's just a rounded subject, so I couldn't make the stamp work, and maybe because I'm not used to using stamps. So I tried the stamp, had to wipe it back down. Good thing about it is use your little baby wipe, your Lysol wipe, and you can just wipe those off. So we're going to use a transfer on it instead. So I did the white wax to seal it, and then I used my transfer. Now, I will say, even with the transfer, because these are some I ordered off of Amazon, it I had to use some elbow grease to really work that in there. But just make sure when you get your transfer down, then use that little vellum piece, that little top piece, and then use that to burnish that into your project for the longevity of it. And with transfers, you really want to seal them. So even though I did the white wax, I ended up going back over all of it with my big top. But I hope you guys enjoy this project. You guys can see me working here with my little tool that comes with these transfers. And if you don't have anything or you wear it out, because this little stick is almost worn out and haven't been getting any more transfer tools, you can always use a craft stick. That works as well. I've seen some people get there's like a plastic tool that comes with it, but anyhow, craft stick will work. Just know that your better stencils, your transfers, I'm sorry, are not that hard to lay down. Now, your rounded surface, and this has some ridges in it, some raised areas. That will make it a little bit more difficult, but I was just having a time with this. But I really wanted this farm fresh on here, and it did work. It just took some doing. You see, I tried to peel up the corner there and had to lay it back down, but that's the beauty of your transfers. All you got to do is lay it back down, and then you can do it back up again. So, and then I think I finally figured out that kind of going from the bottom up worked best for me. For some reason, the letters were a lot harder by themselves to get down, but it did work in the end. So just be patient with it if you're trying to put it on an object that's not exactly flat surface. It will work. You're just going to have to take your time with it. And then you'll see project number 1 will be finished. Okay, and project number 2 is going to be a rolling pin. And I try to pick these up whenever I can find them. Sometimes they're a little bit difficult to track them down, but I pick them up every time I can find them. So this time I want to use some decoupage paper on it. And I've got this beautiful decoupage paper from Roy Cycled that I want to use. I think it's appropriate for the kitchen. You'll see why in just a minute. I am just going to paint just that rounded portion only on the top. I am going to paint that one coat of white chalk paint and let that dry. Now you do the white in case you're new to this or you haven't seen me lay down decoupage before. You do the white to make your project pop. Now you can do other colors, but you just won't get such vibrant colors, if that makes sense. So I wanted to use the mushroom and some of that burnt orange colored flower over there. And it just so happened that the mushroom itself, it kind of it's like a seam there I'm showing you. It goes up to the bird, and I did not have to cut into the bird, which I'm so glad for because I want to use him for other project. So right below the bird is where I had to cut it. Right now I'm just kind of measuring how to fit this on there. So I'm going to cut it. I did leave a little bit for an overlap. Now, I usually start my decoupage, and I'm using liquid patina. I find it best for the Roy Cycled projects. It is a great medium to use. I've used Mod Podge before, and that certainly is an option, or any other decoupage medium that you have on hand. I usually start my my initial strip down on my project itself, but this time I'm going to do it on the paper. And that is because I want to kind of lay it down and then roll it. Now, when I get over, you will see me, I'm going to reposition it some. It had some bubbles and some little raised edges in it. So that's the good thing about your decoupage paper. You got a good quality paper. It will come up. Just be careful with it. And then I can smooth it out with my fingers. And then I'll use my brush with some liquid patina on it and then lay that down. So I'm going to go all the way around. You can see me. I've sped up the video a little bit, but you can see me. I'll lay another strip, and this time I'm going to lay it on the rolling pin itself. And then I'm going to roll that paper over, work it out, make sure I've got it the way that I want it to be. And then there is extra on each end. You want to leave you some. Let it dry completely after you've done your top coat of your liquid patina as well. And then I'm going to come back with my finger sander when everything is dry, using a downward motion or an outward motion. I am going to take and remove the excess paper off the edges. And you'll see when it comes to that, that works really well. That's the easiest way to get your excess decoupage paper off is to use a little sanding finger sander. It works best. I got mine off of Temu. It's been working great. So that works best to lay it down. And like I said, don't worry that you've got this overlap here. It'll work in fine as long as it's not a whole lot. Now, if you wanted to and you had too much excess, you could certainly come back with your scissors before you lay it down and cut it. I did peel up that other side because that was the cleaner edge. I did end up peeling that up a little bit and laying it down just to get a good effect there. So to make it look good because I can't cut straight. I can draw a line and still not cut straight. So anyhow, be careful with this. It's rounded, so when I put it down to dry, it grabbed my surface that I put it on, which is just I reuse my cardboard boxes. You'll see Amazon pop up. This is not sponsored by Amazon. I wish it was, but it's not. But it did stick a little bit to the box, and a piece of it ripped, but it was still wet, so I was able to go back with my finger and kind of lay that down and put some more liquid patina on it, and it works fine. So now the inside edges there, I left them natural. I like the look of that, but I am going to take and on the ends, and I couldn't decide. I have a I think it's called terracotta, and then I had Waverly Moss chalk paints, and I'm trying to decide between them. And I thought more people would be gravitating towards that green. That moss is a beautiful color. So I ended up doing the moss, and then I did go back in the end and seal that project. And then I'm done with this project. So let me know how you like this, you guys, and be on the lookout for these. Snatch these things up whenever you can find them. They make beautiful projects, and I'm definitely gonna do more. They sell pretty well in booths, so this is definitely go in my booth. May sit in my own home for a while before it goes in my booth, but it'll eventually go in my booth. All right, our final project, you guys, and I love this one. I love all of them, but I love this one. Let me know what you guys think. My brother found this tray, and it was at Goodwill, but it was originally from Dollar General. So the bottom was a little bit flimsy. It was more like a cardboard piece. So I wanted to make it a little sturdier and make it more of a farmhouse look. So I am just going to use, these are regular size craft sticks, and I had an idea to glue those to the bottom. So my first two there, I've already cut them. I had to use one full length one after cutting off the ends, and you can see me with my miter shears. These things are wonderful, but sometimes sometimes they cut really well, and sometimes that happens. So I had to cut them down. Ended up using 38, and for some reason I had cut one popsicle stick, two craft sticks, lengthwise in half, and I didn't need to do that because I ended up on the end cutting another one like basically in half. But anyhow, so just measure where they fit your project. I'm not so worried about the gaps because we're going to come back and kind of fix those, and I kind of liked it because it had like a shiplap look to it. But I'm just going to use a combination of hot glue and wood glue to glue all those down. So it took me a little while. We're going to speed this up to get those all in place. And then when they're done, I came back with some spackling and just took my finger and filled in the larger cracks around the outside. And even though I measured these, they didn't all fit the same. I don't know. Maybe because it's just like I say, it's a cheaper material. I'm not sure it's real wood. I don't even know what that is. But anyhow, we're gonna fix it. So I came in after I spackled and that dried. I'm going to sand that down real well. And then I found out that my Lysol wipe helped to get that spackling off too. I always tend to put too much. I do that with my walls too. Anyhow, I always put too much and then I've got a big mess. So anyhow, it's okay. I cleaned it all up with my little white Lysol wipes. You can use the baby wipe as well. And then I am going to paint one coat. I did the bottom of this, the sides, and the inside. I did the outside as well as the inside. So I painted everything with my it's called white Adirondack chalk paint, and that is from the brand Folk Art. I buy mine from Hobby Lobby. And then when that was done, I clear coated it. Now, this was the perfect place for me to do my first IOD stamps. I bought the crockery stamp set. Y'all, I love these. I'm sure I'm not doing them completely correctly. So if you guys know any tips or tricks to these, let me know. I was going to use one earlier on that flour sifter and it didn't work out, so it was a smaller one, and I cut it completely out. I'm not sure I was supposed to cut it completely loose from the other. I don't know. So the one that I picked out says something about marmalade on it. I didn't cut it from the group. I just left it because I didn't buy that backing. There's some kind of backing thing that you can put it on. Um, and I knew I needed some space around it so that I can help center it and lay it down, because if you put ink on these and you put them down, you can wipe it away, but then it's got to dry and you got to restamp it. And I just wanted to be real careful with it, and I wanted it to, when I laid it down, that's where I wanted to go. So I've got this beautiful China blue ink, and that's also an IOD product. And my little stamp pad is just from Hobby Lobby. So the China blue is the only color I've ordered so far. Y'all, I'll be getting a lot more of these. These are beautiful. And this ink from IOD, I'm not sure about any other stamp pad ink, but this ink is self-sealing. So that's why I already clear coated my chalk paint, because this is self-sealing. So you take your ink pad once it's inked good and you place that onto your stamp. So you'll see me here. I'm just taking my time where I want to put it. And then when I lay it down, I'm going to hold it with one hand and take my other hand, my fingers, and just kind of blot down and rub around to get that ink to come off. Now, when you're through, just make sure to lift it up straight. Like, you definitely don't want to smear your ink, or, you do have some time before the ink dries to wipe it and start all over again. But I will definitely be buying more of these. If you have any of these stamps, let me know which ones are your favorite. I can see me putting in a lot of orders for these in the near future. I love them. This is my favorite project. So, now I needed to clean up the insides where the craft sticks are at. So you'll see me after I've removed my stamp, and of course I'll let my stamp dry. Isn't that beautiful, you guys? That is gorgeous. So I'm going to use some Dollar Tree jute rope, nautical rope. I don't know what you call this one, But I'm just going to use the one strand. I don't want all three. That's a little too thick for me. I'm just using one strand. I'm going to start in a corner, and I am going to hot glue, and I did lay pretty much a thin bead of hot glue all the way the length of the thing, and I'm going to go around all the edges. So that cleans up where those edges of the craft sticks were at. Then I decided I needed a little bit more to make it tie in, so I'm also going to take and wrap that around my handles as well. And in the end, this just made a beautiful tray, and I could see using this in the kitchen, styling. I like a little basket or something to hold my olive oil, my vinegar, my salt and pepper grinders. So I can see this being used in a kitchen, and it's gorgeous. And it may just stay in my kitchen because my backsplash in my kitchen is a blue. It may just stay in my kitchen. Let me know what you think. Let me know which one was your favorite. I appreciate you guys so much. This week you guys have been fabulous to me, and I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy my channel. Let me know what you'd like to see in the future. I've got a lot of stuff in my head churning around, projects that I'm going to do. It's getting closer and closer to Easter, so we'll be doing a lot more Easter projects, and then it's just spring and summer, so there's always something to do. I've got some more thrift and flea market flips coming up, and I got some more trips I need to make to them to gather some items. But you guys, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, take care.
Have given your heart to the world, heart to the world in song. Matters of music no longer a mystery. Where does the heart belong? Have trusted your heart to another. Go and recover what's yours. Nature so fragile, yet so indestructible, knowing yet vulnerable. No one can